What's up guys, Cloudie here, checking in from the America server, and today we are gonna be looking at Gremory, the newest assassin, Primal Demon, lolly kind of thing that was added to the game just this week. So let's go buy her and see how she looks like. Now she is a magic hero, and as such I wasn't really expecting much, and in that regard Vespa certainly didn't fail to deliver. Let's just watch her painting animation. That's one of the she's around there. Okay, so much exposure there. I mentioned this in the patch notes and when they first released her, it's just like so much exposure. Like I really don't know what they are thinking there. Let's go grab Gremory. Now, if you are interested in the too long didn't read version, I think she's basically zero invest support assassin that's not really worth to be really investing in. You can run her with like a class unique weapon, like 0-star unique treasure 3, and basically no other investment. Doesn't matter what the ring, we should be able to beat her on Transcendence 1 anyway. So yeah, let's see this real quick. So yeah, there have been various people testing her at 8-20 and her damage numbers are just not really there. She can function as a support character, but for that she doesn't even need her unique weapon, and her soul weapon is right out getting in the way of that. So I know some people have gotten it randomly, high lex, and then just grinded it because she was actually doing worse with it equipped than without. So yeah, somewhat disappointing to be honest, but if you do not have like an assassin build for techno magic raids and you want to run 5, then you can bring her along and she can be like a support character for that. That's pretty much her only role right now. She cannot do Sky Trial, she's not good for Eclipse or Shockmay even, I think. So yeah, she's really limited to techno magic raids, and her DPS, even when built fully, is just not that high. She does have a role as like a zero invest support character, but that's really it. So yeah, somewhat disappointing, but let's see what she does transcend her. Well, I mean, at least her animations are funny. But okay, let's quickly get her to Transcendence 5 then, and then we can look at her skills and perks and whatever. So here we are guys, back with our tier 5 or Transcendence 5 assassin. So let's just check her skills and what her basic concept is and how she works. Now, her basic mechanic is that she has no cooldowns on her skills, but they get logged when she uses them, and she needs to use her S4, which becomes active after all her skills are logged, and then she resets her skills. So let's just go quickly through them, see how that works. So she casts once, she casts twice, then she casts for a third time, and now she gets this I'm going to sleep skill, which will take her into sleeping mode, and when she wakes up she can use her skills again. So that's her basic concept, which means that you cannot abuse Oddie with her, and that means she also will not be really competitive in any kind of world bosses or conquest or anything, because you generally use the auto reset mechanic there, so that's already not gonna work for her. Now let's see what her individual skills do. Note here that I have a perk for her S3 already, so it's actually one more mana, and this is one of her biggest disadvantages, I believe. Look at that mana cost, that's 3, and this would be a 4 without the perk, so that's 10 mana to cycle through all her skills, and then she needs to cast her 4th skill, which lasts for a while too. Now, assassins aren't really famous for having high mana gains, and this is like she is really mana limited. You will need anywhere up to 1 to 2k mana regen per attack just to be able to cycle through her skills efficiently. And this also makes her soul weapon to be a burden in her support role, because when she's casting her soul weapon, she's not casting her skills. So yeah, it's kind of a weird design, or at least I think they could have balanced her mana gain better, like whatever, guys. Let's see what her skills do. So, Pochi Bite them. I like the names of the skills anyway. It does an attack 5 times, dealing some damage and doing Pochi's mark on the target. And this damage increases for every mark. And also the marks reduce the target's attack by 6% for 15 seconds. So that's not too bad. 15-second uptime is quite good. I think she can cycle through that fairly fast, so it shouldn't really drop too often. Let's just see how this looks like. Also, if the target is a boss, then this skill will deal additional damage, and this will increase by 30% every time for every mana charge she gets, which she gains when she goes into the sleeping mode. You can see it on her, actually. It's like this icon, I think. But let's see how this looks like. So, Pochi. Those are the demon fish that eat up the target, and you can see that it has like this 5 stack now. Okay, let's see, skill number 2. Pucci, knock them away. Okay, very similar name. So attacks the farthest enemy from behind, dealing magic damage afterwards, inflicts stun for 5 seconds, and puts a mark on the target, which reduces the block chance of the target by 500 for 12 seconds. So yeah, this is just like a normal CC skill that attacks the furthest away enemy, and it does block reduction, which is good because this will make her useful in Siegfried raids. Now let's see how this looks like. So it's like Demon Hound knocking the target from behind. Alright, let's see skill number 3. Deals a total of damage over 10 times, so 10 hits, and the enemy for a large area. Okay, each of these inflicts Pipi's mark. Hi, Piplet. Each mark will increase the damage that the target takes by 2.5%. So 10 hits will make it a 25% amp, and this effect lasts for 12 seconds and can be stacked up to a maximum times. Now you can see here that she cannot get her maximum amp from a single cast. She needs to refresh this with a second cast, and she needs to do that within 12 seconds, otherwise her buffs will drop. Now let's see if we can actually pull this off. This is the last skill that she has now, so we will go into S4 from this and then try to recast and see if we keep the dot up or not, or the debuff. So let's see, we queue her S4 right away. So we are already going to sleep mode. And okay, so if you recast it right away, then it works, but like chances are that on auto mode you will not be casting right away. And also do note that we have used up 6 mana right now, but it would be 8 without the perk, so it's a bit harder to keep up, especially without the unique treasure. The unique treasure does help a bit with this. It should have like an okayish uptime, provided she can cast fast enough, and that's one of her biggest issues, I guess, that she just takes so much mana that she will not be able to cycle through her skills fast enough. Now let's see how her perks and gears change her behavior. So let's move on to her perk page. I have set her initial perks to be like DPS related, but that said, I do not think that she will function too well as a DPS. That's a terribly long load time there. I wonder why. But okay, let's see if we go back and Transcendence skills. So let's see what each perk does. This one Now this one is like really what I don't get about Vespa. So let's see. Additional damage dealt against bosses ignores death, but the damage is reduced by 50%, and changes to the damage boost from mana charge go to 10%. Now, by default, this is 30%, and you can get either 5 or 7 charges. So yeah, this is like probably a gain in damage, but like very limited, and I don't really understand why this has to be so. This is like so stupid. Um, if you consider the recently released physical damage heroes, or some of them that already exist, none of them have limitations like this. If you want to make a DPS character that uses ignore defense, you do not want to nerf that one nuke skill that they have that ignores defense, especially because the thing about ignore defense is that it's a very strong ability, but you have to consider that not all of your skills will ignore defense, especially in this case where she only has it on this one. So then you still need penetration, but it's also like a bit wasted because because one of your skills ignores defense, and to make up for that, that one skill really has to be a big nuke. And a 50% downgrade on a nuke is like totally stupid, guys. It's like, I don't get it. Yeah, it's like, oh, this totally blows her DPS, and I really don't understand Vespa sometimes, especially when you consider like Rebel Clouds who just, okay, get 1k penetration and everything will ignore defense, and like, what? Whatever. So for if you wanted to run her as DPS, I would probably pick these perks, but let's see what her others do. Pochi's Mark additionally reduces magic defense by 6%. That's good because this stacks up like 5 times, so 30%, I guess, per stack, so it should be like 30% magic defense reduction. This works on Galgoria, so that's pretty nice. Let's see, the magic block chance reduction effect to Pochi's Mark will fix M block chance to 0 instead. This is for Siegfried raids. It means that you can replace Taily with her and then perhaps take a more defensive tank or a more offensive tank than Taily. For instance, you could run this perk on Siegfried and then take like a Celica. I know my brother did that, so yeah, that would work. This perk knocks the target away instead of inflicting stun. I guess PvP if you want to knock the backline into the front. Maybe, but it's a 3 mana skill, so whatever. Let's see, reduces mana cost. Now this one is for S3 of course, and probably one thing that you want to pick up anyway, unless you have a lot of mana. But remember, if you are building DPS, then you can't really afford putting 3 mana runes on her. So yeah, let's see, additionally reduces attack speed by 20. Now this can stack up to 10 to 20 times, so yeah, it's a decent attack speed reduction, but most PvE bosses are immune to speed reduction. All the TM ones are, as I recall. So I guess a PvP perk, but then a 4-minute skill with some speed reduction. Whatever, I'm not sure what this is good for. Increases all damage reduction effect by 20% while in use. Well, okay, she gets tankier while she's sleeping. Whatever. I don't think that's really great, because what are the chances that you need to be not taking damage when you are sleeping? And then at the beginning of each battle, her S4 becomes activated, so she starts the battle with in the sleeping mode, and she gains some damage reduction and mana regeneration, but and CC immunity. So I guess this would protect her against instant burst in like PvP. And then her dark skill, which is increasing the damage to non-hero enemies by 50%. Remember that she doesn't have actually any non-hero damage built into her any of her skills, and then this will do 50% when there is only one enemy. But we didn't check her S4, so let's check what that does. So when she has all her skills locked, she can use this 4th skill, which will make her CC immune, take reduced damage, and unlock all her skills. And then she gains this mana charge, which increases her damage like on her S1, and this can go up to, oh yeah, this gives her a 2% damage increase, so it goes up to like 10%, and then she can get 5 of these. So yeah, I guess it's whatever. It's not really a great, oh yeah, you can get 1 more %. and like 3% more. Yeah, I mean, okay, she can go to like 15% or 25%, whatever. So it's alright-ish, not a terribly great skill. It's just part of her sleeping mechanics. So let's see how we would actually run her as a support, because that's more interesting. I would still pick the mana reduction because it just helps her cycle through her stuff so much faster. And then you are almost done. Because if you are running Galgoria, you want the magic defense reduction, because Galgo is not immune to that. And if you are running Siegfried, you want the magic block chance reduction to 0. And then you pretty much don't need anything else. You can pick up her amp skill, which will give a little bit of amp to everyone, and then you just go defensive. So all her other perks are useless if you build her like a 0 investment support. Now you could pick up, of course, all the others. So let's say we are running Galgo, and then there is of course one enemy, and then you would probably pick this one, and the rest is like, well, whatever. You don't want to dodge. Reduced damage could be useful for her. You could pick this just so have, but 10% is like so little, it's like barely anything. So maybe, yeah, you could pick Monster Hunter and attack. And then maybe attack and death penetration. And this is her perks for what I would use on Galgo if I was trying to do damage. And for Siegfried, I would just switch to this perk, and then you are done. But if you are not trying to do damage, then you can ignore all the attack perks and just go for defense and survival rate, because yeah, like this one would be probably better for Siegfried, where he does so much damage. So yeah, her perks aren't terribly exciting either. She can be a support, but that's about it. Let's check her gears, what they do. Let's see, item index. So unique weapon, if you go over to, this is the only one we don't have. So you can see that all of her skills or perks scale up with the star of the unique weapon. Let's see. So when she uses her S4, she heals some HP 50%, and she recovers some mana over 2 seconds. Okay. And her mana charge additionally increases attack by 10%. Now remember, she can get 5 charges, so that's a 50%. And if you have her soul weapon, that's 2 more. Now moving on to her unique treasures. Let's see, no, that's not assassin, that's a mechanic. Let's see, so this is her S3 one, and I would pick this one like at a 0 star for her support build, because it increases the duration of the Pips mark by 8 seconds, so it goes up to 20-second uptime, which means that even on auto she should have a better chance at refreshing. And if you pick this up to 5 star, then it becomes a 1.5%. I think it's like 2.5 per default, yeah, because it was set. So this goes up to like 4% per stack. So 40%, or at the 20 stack it's 80%, which is not bad. 80% amp is not bad, but you need a 5-star unique treasure for that, and honestly, who's gonna do that? I mean, if you are really well off in terms of unique treasure selectors, then maybe. Let's see, so Pucci knocked them away, increases CC ACC by 200 for the duration, so this is for S2, and this spells positive effects from the targets. Definitely a PvP skill, or UT, and it just increases her CC ACC. And well, this only really hits the back line, so not an area wide this spell, so it's like whatever. I don't think I would really want to run her in PvP anyway. Her S1, Fluffy Pillow, so this will increase the damage of the skill and increase it by 50% if you go to 5-star, and reduces heal rate by 6%. So if you wanted to run her on Galgoria, then this would be a whooping 30% for 5 stacks, which is like alright, but it's not too much, considering that, say, Isolette gets like 100% reduction, and with a much better uptime, I guess this isn't really terribly great. For a support role, I wouldn't pick this. If you are trying to do DPS with her, then maybe. And then finally we should have the S4, which is this one. So increases the damage reduction effect by 20%, and each mana charge increases her crit damage by 10%. So with normal 5 charges you would get 50% crit damage, which is alright-ish, but like nothing super fancy. I would probably pick her S1 if I was, or UT1 if I was trying to do DPS, but I don't recommend that, and UT3 if I was trying to support with her, which is probably her best role. Now, her unique or soul weapon does damage a number of times. It doesn't have any fancy effects added to it. It just does damage like a couple times without any good stuff in it, like no ignore damage or ignore defense or anything in it. At 8-2, it adds 2 more charges to her mana stack, so she can go to 7 stacks instead of 5, which increases some of her built-in buffs. So that's not too bad, but like nothing super fancy either. So the conclusion is she cannot do her own trial. She is not good for shock meme. She is not good for eclipse, and I don't think she's great in PvP. She seems to be solely made for techno magic raids, and in Escalon she's utterly scuffed because her mana costs are just so high. She will be locked all the time, and so that leaves her with like a role for Siegfried and Galgoria. Now, I've seen some people try her at A220, and she was pushing around 400 million DPS in a very good team, which was okay. 400 mil DPS for character is not bad, but if you compare her to, say, Laudia, Ezekiel, Epis, I believe all of those can outdamage her easily, and that's not even mentioning physical damage heroes who just do so much more. They go up easily to the 800 mil to 1 billion range, high Cloudie. And so compared to that, that's lackluster for the investment, and I would say she's not worth investing in. What she can do is that you grab her at a 0 investment, give her a class unique weapon, give her her unique treasure 3, and she can be used as a buffer in either Siegfried 5 or Galgoria 5. Like, I know some people now run, for instance, her as on a dispatch battle for, say, Siegfried, and then farm Galgoria normally, because that's easier to do with more people. So in that role, she can be okay-ish. She can provide some amp, which is not too bad, but and like magic block reduction, magic def reduction. So she has a support kit, but it's totally not worth building her. That's my opinion, guys. So you may like her design and want to get her for that. You may not like her design. That's really up to you. But yeah, as a character, as an actual investment, I do not think she's worth. That's really my opinion on her. I will probably run her as a support in some cases, but then again, I am in the middle of building a Laudia, so I will probably prefer running her instead of Gremory. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's Gremory for you. Disappointing that she got the magic curse or magic treatment from Vespa once again. And yeah, I kind of hoped for more, but this is what I expected, so whatever. But let me know what you guys think. Have you tried her yet? Are you gonna build her? Are you gonna use her like a 0-star support? I'm curious, so let me know. But until the next time, this has been Cloudie, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.